Spanish GP. Controversy emerges as Verstappen and Hamilton admit the truth. Ferrari and Red Bull stars delivered surprisingly candid assessments after Friday practice in Barcelona, revealing a shared struggle that could dramatically reshape expectations for the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. What was expected to be a crucial step forward for Ferrari and another opportunity for Max Verstappen to close the gap to the frontrunners instead turned into a day of frustration. Following Friday's running at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, both Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen openly admitted that grip issues were severely limiting their performance, raising fresh questions ahead of qualifying and Sunday's race. Hamilton admits Ferrari still lacks pace despite major upgrade. Ferrari arrived in Spain armed with its most extensive upgrade package of the 2026 season, hoping to close the gap to championship-leading Mercedes and the increasingly competitive McLaren squad. However, the early signs were far from encouraging. Hamilton, who missed the opening practice session after Ferrari handed his car to academy driver Dino Beganovic, finished only 9th in FP2. The seven-time world champion was more than a second adrift of the fastest times and significantly behind teammate Charles Leclerc. Speaking after the session, Hamilton admitted Ferrari still had substantial work to do. Charles had 2 sessions and was still a few tenths away from the front. Clearly we're still quite a long way off, Hamilton said. The British driver also pointed to unusually difficult track conditions, describing the grip levels as some of the worst he has experienced at the Barcelona circuit. The grip was probably the lowest I've ever felt here with this generation of cars. The heat made things even more complicated because the tyres only seemed to perform for one lap, Hamilton explained. Despite the disappointing start, Hamilton remains hopeful Ferrari can unlock more performance overnight before qualifying. Verstappen delivers brutally honest assessment. While Hamilton had the excuse of missing valuable track time, Verstappen completed both Friday's sessions and was equally unimpressed with his car's performance. The Red Bull driver ended the day nearly 9/10 behind pace-setter Lando Norris and admitted the RB22 was struggling in virtually every area of the circuit. "We're losing time in high-speed corners, low-speed corners, medium-speed corners, pretty much everywhere," Verstappen admitted. "The whole day was about a lack of grip, poor balance, and not feeling connected with the car. That's something we need to work on because right now nothing feels comfortable." The Dutchman also suggested that turbulent air was making life even more difficult. "Every time I followed another car, there was no grip at all. The tyres weren't giving us the performance we needed. Everyone was struggling, but compared to the top teams, we seemed to have bigger balance issues." Perhaps most concerning for Red Bull fans was Verstappen's admission that the team is currently not in a position to fight for the front row in qualifying. Tyre degradation could turn Spanish GP into strategic chaos. While the battle for outright pace grabbed the headlines, Friday also highlighted another major concern: tyre degradation. Barcelona has always been one of Formula One's most demanding circuits for tyre management, but early indications suggest degradation levels could be even higher than anticipated this weekend. Pirelli's latest tyre compounds appear to be behaving differently compared to previous seasons, leaving teams with limited data and forcing engineers into unfamiliar territory. The C2 tyre, expected to play a key role on Sunday, was tested by only a handful of drivers, suggesting teams are still gathering information before committing to a race strategy. Initial analysis indicates that degradation across all 3 compounds is surprisingly similar, potentially opening the door to a wide range of tactical approaches. Multiple pit stops could shake up the race. The FIA and Pirelli introduced this year's tyre allocation with the goal of encouraging more strategic variety, and Friday's evidence suggests that objective may be achieved. Rather than the traditional one-stop strategy often seen in Barcelona, teams are increasingly considering 2-stop and even 3-stop race plans. With temperatures expected to rise further on race day, tyre wear could become the defining factor in determining the outcome of the Spanish Grand Prix. For Hamilton, Verstappen and several other leading contenders, the challenge may not simply be finding outright speed, it may be finding a way to keep their tyres alive long enough to remain competitive. And with both champions openly admitting their current struggles, the Spanish Grand Prix is suddenly shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable races of the 2026 Formula One season.